What happens when magic plays with the dice?
How did Miraver fool both Penn and Teller with his unique dice-stacking matrix routine on Fool Us? Well, before I reveal the secret, here's what actually happened. In the first phase of the performance, Miraver introduced 2 stacks of dice, each with 4 different colors. He lined them up side by side and began stacking them one by one inside the first cup, then repeated the same process with the second stack, covering it with a playing card. He gestured to vanish the green die, then lifted the cup to reveal it had actually disappeared, and when the card was removed, the green die from there had vanished too. He stacked the first set back inside the cup and covered the second again with the card. This time he mimed vanishing the yellow die, and once again both yellow dice disappeared. Then, placing the remaining 2 dice beneath the cup while covering the other 2 with the card, something went wrong. The blue die vanished from inside the cup, but the red one disappeared from behind the card instead, completely throwing off the magician. To fix the mistake in the second phase, Miraver placed the red die under the first cup, and the blue die beneath the second. When he lifted the first cup, the single red die had multiplied into 4 red dice, and under the second cup, the blue die had done the same, becoming 4 blue dice. He then switched the cups and decided to test whether he could swap the positions of the 2 colors. Under the first cup, he stacked a blue die followed by 3 red dice. In the second, he started with a blue die, then added the remaining 2 blue dice and the final red die. After gesturing as if the stacks had switched places, both cups now contained 2 red dice and 2 blue dice each. He stacked both pairs beneath the first cup, picked up the blue die from the second stack, turned it red, and when Miraver lifted the cup, the blue die had actually switched back and teleported underneath it. Next, he stacked 3 blue dice under the first cup along with a single red die. Picking up the blue die from the second cup, he tossed it behind the cup and it instantly transformed into a red one. Then, lifting the first cup, Miraver revealed all 4 blue dice together underneath. Finally, he placed all the red dice beneath the second cup and all the blue ones under the first. Then, in the final reveal, the blue dice had teleported beneath the second cup alongside the reds, bringing the incredible act to an end.
I feel like a deer in the headlights of love.
You've been binging videos on this channel, but you still haven't joined my Patreon for absolutely free, where you'll get early access to all the upcoming videos I've planned for this month. We're now over 900 members. Let's hit 1,000 before the end of the month. Membership is free to join, and for anyone who wants to support the project even further, optional supporter tiers are also available, starting at just $1. Join for free right now by clicking the link in the pinned comment, then get back to watching this reveal video. Before we get into the explanation, there are 2 key concepts to understand. First is the dice stacking order. The first die picked up during the stacking motion always ends up on top, with the rest added beneath it. Yes, I know it's common sense, but it's important to remember since the explanation will involve a lot of sequence stacking, so I just wanted to prepare you mentally for that. Second, while the cups are completely ordinary and examinable, the table isn't. It's specially designed to load specific colored dice into the cup. 3 particular dice around the table aren't actually printed images, they're real dice that are part of a mechanism hidden beneath the board. So when the cup is placed over them, hidden dice underneath are secretly pushed up into the cup, all completely concealed from view. For example, to load 4 extra blue dice, the cup must be placed over the blue section on Miraver's right. The rest of the dice are just printed images and completely normal. The concept of the mechanism is similar to Eric Chen's Portal X table, but instead of switching objects, it pushes dice into the cup. Now that that's clear, the rest of the explanation for the trick is going to be pretty easy to follow. In the first phase, as he apparently attempts to load the cup first with the green die, he secretly ditches it behind the table into a servante, therefore stacking only the remaining 3 colored dice. When stacking the second die manually, he secretly picks up the green one, clips it between his left index and thumb, and discreetly ditches it behind the table before moving the cup and the card. Next, he does the same with the yellow die, dropping it behind the table before picking up the red and blue ones. The card used here has a light adhesive on its face, allowing the yellow die to stick when pressed, as you can see. So when he picks up the card near the top, the yellow die comes with it and is casually ditched behind the table. He repeats the same ditching process with the blue die, dropping it behind the table while loading the cup with the red die. Then, using light adhesive, he attaches the red die to the back of the playing card, picks it up with his right hand, and ditches it behind the table as well. Now comes the part where the specially designed table is used to load the cup with specific dice. Notice the cup is placed on the section of the table marked with the red die image. That area contains red dice, so as soon as the cup is placed there, 3 red dice are loaded while he focuses your attention on the mismatched dice. If you were paying close attention from the start, you'd have noticed the second cup wasn't used for stacking like the first. That's because it already had 3 dice stuck inside with light adhesive. He kept it aside until now, when he picks it up, adds 1 die from the table, and shakes it aggressively. Once the 3 dice are loose inside, he removes both cups to reveal the stacks. He then switches the top 2 dice and places the first cup over the section of the table that loads blue dice. A single die is loaded before he picks up the cup and starts stacking the first 3 blue dice. The 4th red die, however, is clipped in his curled fingers as he grabs the second cup. While doing so, he ditches the first blue die behind the table and begins loading one by one from the table into the cup. After loading the red die from the table, he also adds the red die he had secretly held earlier. After revealing that both stacks now match, he repeats the process. He loads a single blue die into the right cup, stacks 3 more from the table, and secretly clips the 4th in his curled fingers. Then, using a French drop-vanish-like move, he drops the blue die from the second stack into his left palm while simultaneously switching it for the red die held in his fingers. He rearranges the second stack, returning it to the mismatched sequence, and tosses the blue die behind the table. The first cup is loaded again with a single blue die, and the same sequence repeats. He stacks the first 3 dice, clips the 4th red die in his fingers, and this time places it behind the cup so it's out of view from the front, but clearly visible from his angle. Then, using basic physics similar to a Newton's cradle, he transfers momentum from one die to the other on contact. This causes the moving blue die to stop while the red die is propelled forward. As he picks up the cup, he clips the blue die hidden behind it, reveals the stack underneath, and ditches the extra blue die behind the table. For the finale, he loads all 4 blue dice into the first cup and ditches them in one motion near the edge of the table. Meanwhile, the second cup, positioned over the blue dice loading section, is secretly filled with 4 more blue dice, creating the illusion that the dice teleported from the first cup to the second. And if you thought Penn and Teller were fooled by the gimmick table or sleight of hand, you'd be wrong. They probably just thought he looked like Handro and gave him the trophy anyway.
This is a bat, and this looks like a baseball bat.
Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.